What is up, everybody? Welcome to the hashtag Robservation. I'm your host and master of ceremonies, DARKSIDEROB, and I hope you are all having a fantastic week. Welcome to this new episode on Monday. New videos every Monday and Friday. And without further ado, I've got three topics I want to talk about today. One that's kind of upsetting, one that's a little bit important from a technical perspective, and one that's just a really good feel-good story to end on. So without further ado, let's start with the harder story of the three, the one that's gonna make you feel a little bit. So the first topic up on the conversation board today is this video that's been going viral around the internet as a result of the just awful, horrible, tragic shooting that happened in Texas on Friday at Santa Fe High School. And the video I'm talking about is of this one student of the school, survivor of the shooting, Paige Curry. She was interviewed by ABC.13, and in the interview, she was asked this question: was there a part of you that was like, this isn't real? This could not happen at my school? Curry's response was, there wasn't. ABC responded with, why so? And Curry's follow-up answer was, it's been happening everywhere. I've always felt it would eventually happen here too. And the reason I bring up this particular video, it's been watched over 5 million times across the internet. There have been articles written about it. There have been people discussing it all over the internet. The reason I mention this video is because I think it speaks to the bigger, more important point of everything that's going on. While adults are arguing the pros and cons of gun reform, the kids are watching this stuff happening. They're watching it happen on the news. They're watching it happen on TV. They're watching it being talked about on social media, on websites, everywhere, here, there, everywhere. Wherever eyes can point to news being repeated over and over ad nauseum, ad infinitum, these kids are seeing it. And the worst part about it is that they are seeing it happen in their schools. They are witnessing it firsthand, and they are falling victim. They are being murdered in their high schools, and they are aware of it. And the whole thing about this video is that it puts a real point on this, that this is not just something that's happening off in the distance, far away from us. It's happening here. And I think we need to really pay attention to it. And one of the things I want to mention to you guys, and one of the questions that I want to ask you about this video, and I will link the video down below, I'll link the Vox article that talks about it, is what does this video mean to you guys? Does it change your opinion? Does it make you think about what's going on? Does it highlight something for you? Or does it do nothing at all? Because I think the thing about this is that it was a very standard question for the interviewer to ask, with the, expected answer being, no, of course, I would never expect this to happen here. But that's not what she says, because that's not the reality we live in anymore. And I want to know what you guys think about it, because again, it's been watched 5 million times. It's one of the most real moments that we have gotten from anyone regarding all of these tragedies that just continue to happen over and over and again. And again, the thing I want to repeat here is the order of the interview questions. Was there a part of you, and this is quote again from the article, was there a part of you that was like, this isn't real, this could not happen at my school? There wasn't. Why so? It's been happening everywhere. I've always felt it would eventually happen here too. I think that is a very, very potent, powerful, and unfortunate statement of the times that we live in. And I think it needs to be listened to. I think now is the time that more than ever, a statement like that needs to be reflected upon and now discussed amongst people who can actually make change so that we don't have instances like this anymore. But again, I want to ask you guys, what does this video mean to you? When you watch a video like this, what reaction do you have? And what does it make you think about the state that we're in and the state that we're dealing with these tragedies, these shootings, these violent acts that continue to happen in the US. Moving on to our second story, which is a little bit lighter. We're going to go, dark, then lighter, then hopefully end on a happier, uplifting note. The second story I want to talk about is a copyright claim story between three parties, which is Alinity, Collab DRM, and PewDiePie, massively huge YouTuber. If you guys don't know what happened in this situation, I will link to a link down below that will explain everything that happened in greater detail than I can go into here. Essentially, there was a video that PewDiePie put up that Alinity then did a copyright claim on for a thing that was said during it that she found inappropriate and misused her content. It was later discovered that she actually didn't make the claim. She then made a follow-up YouTube video before all this came out, or a Twitch video that basically said, well, when I make copyright claims, I make money, which then made people kind of go, well, are you just copyright claiming stuff in order to get your fair share from other people's videos? And then it all came out that in fact she never made a claim. Collab DRM did it on its own. And there was this bigger conversation about, well, is this another abuse of the copyright claim system? And is this borderline censorship? Because essentially she's using a copyright claim system to strike a video that, while it is free, it could technically be seen as fair use and could technically be seen as, a transformative work. She struck it because she didn't like what was being said in the video. Now, the point I want to make here, and I think the point that is really valid here, is that one, people shouldn't abuse the YouTube copyright claim system because then it delegitimizes other true copyright claims, of which there are many, and there are many people who use copywritten or copyrighted material in a way that YouTube frowns upon, and that shouldn't be used, which is they take stuff whole hog, they repost it without doing anything over it or commentating on it or changing it in any way, and they just say, this is not my content, but that's not good enough because you're basically reposting it without permission of the copyright holder. So there's that part of people abusing the copyright claim system. Then there's also the problem of, well, should Twitch and YouTube content creators be using copywritten material in the first place? And my answer to that is maybe. There are a lot of instances in which people make YouTube videos and Twitch videos where they go, this would look a whole lot better if I cut in this scene from this movie here, or if I put in this bit from this musical thing, or if I cut in this other clip from this YouTube video. What if I reference that? And boy, wouldn't that be funny. And the problem with that is that, yes, there is an argument legally to be made one way or another that it is a fair use, transformative work that you are making because you are taking somebody else's content and changing it to make a new piece of content. But then there's also the argument of how much are you really changing it, and the fact that there has been no legal weigh-in by anybody who's a lawyer or by any members of the judicial system saying what is and isn't allowed to be done because you're a YouTube creator or a Twitch creator. Which brings me to sort of the bigger thing for me, as opposed to talking about the copyright claim system, and granted also people being shitty to female Twitch streamers and YouTubers. That is a whole other conversation, which I will get to at a later time, because I feel like this is a conversation that is not going away anytime soon, and we have a lot to deal with on that front. And also, just respect other streamers and content creators, guys. Come on, don't be assholes. Like, is that really that hard? Anyway, back on point. If you're gonna use other people's content and you don't own it, make sure you make that clear in your video, in your stream, in whatever, that you are using other people's content. Also, don't repost people's content whole hog. Don't just take a video or a music video or a song or a work and just post it up there and be like, not my material, because that's not enough. And of course that stuff's gonna get copyright claimed. And don't try to monetize stuff that isn't yours. But also think first, if you are gonna use somebody else's content, is it worth doing? Is it worth taking the risk? Is it okay that potentially you could be hit with a copyright claim? If you're gonna make content in the public space and use other people's material, whether it is officially copyrighted or not, or copywritten because it has been posted or published, or because it is out there and it belongs to somebody else, as a content creator, because no one else is looking over your shoulder, you have to be responsible for the decisions you make in your content. And it is vital, in order to protect your content and potentially be able to make money off of it later, that you are not infringing on somebody else's content and you are not using someone else's content in a way that will actually take money out of their pocket. So it's three things. Don't use copyright claims to censor other people. Don't use other people's material if you know you're not using it for the purposes of fair use or, transformative projects. And finally, be smart. If you are making content, you have to be smart and you have to know what you're putting up and what you're putting out there. And then you got to stand by it once it's published, because that's how the internet works. Once it's out there forever. And even if you try to take it back, it can't come back. So you have to be smart. When you're gonna push that upload button, be prepared that that is going out. That is live. That is the pitch and the swing at the ball. And you're gonna get one shot to knock it out of the park. And if you don't, that's it. So you have to be aware of your content and what you're doing with it. And the last story I want to talk about is one that actually is a real feel-good thing because it was something that came out of nowhere. It was one of these, I think, maybe E3 related announcements. There were a lot of E3 related leaks that have happened of late. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about that Walmart Canada thing. We talked about a little bit on the podcast, which I'll get back to in a minute, but there was another story that was actually really feel good. And I have a Polygon article that I'm going to link to down in the description below. And it's all about this Microsoft reveal of this new Xbox controller that also works for PCs that allows disabled gamers to actually play games using a first-party controller designed specifically for gamers with disabilities. And it is just such a cool thing to see a company do this, to see a first-party publisher, console maker, game developer, company go out there and say, we're going to make something, software, hardware, that helps people who love games get back into gaming, whether they've had medical disabilities or physical disabilities or birth defects or accidents or currently in physical therapy to try to help repair the damage to nerves or hands or any body parts or anything that, or mental issues or mental injuries, brain injuries, what have you. And this controller really does solve that problem and allows people who were using third-party peripherals and third-party software to be able to use it in conjunction with this controller to take back their gaming control for themselves and allow themselves to have control over their pastime again, which is something that they may have lost. And it's so cool to see Xbox do this. It's so cool to see Microsoft do this, because I remember starting out on Twitch TV that there were gamers and casters who were playing games who were disabled, who were using their feet, who were using, their arms, their shoulders, their head, using different controllers, and all of this was sort of jerry-rigged together, and it was amazing to watch, but there was no real first-party support by publishers or developers. And to see Microsoft do this, it really is a very moving thing. Because it means that they're actually trying to bring a portion of gamers that I truly believe have been overlooked for a while in this industry and try to bring them back into the gaming family. And I really hope that companies like Sony and Nintendo and even Valve to some degree look at this stuff and go, hey, we can do this too, and we can help bring people who have a passion for gaming but just don't have the ability to play it anymore, to bring them back into the fold and enjoy their hobby, their pastime, their thing that, got them into games in the first place. And, I don't know what the pricing of this is. I don't know, what the availability of it is going to be. But I will say, Microsoft, you guys get the Rob Hart Award for this product because, I hate to say that I'm a skeptic about things, but you guys know I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to big companies doing the right thing, especially in the game space, especially when it comes to following up on, carrying out of cool ideas and cool products that will actually help bring gamers in and allow them to play the games that they love. And this product just checks all the boxes for me. It's like so great. I hope that it is as good as it looks like from all the videos. I hope that it's able to be utilized across the board for people with, minor or major disabilities and allow them to be able to play the games that we all love. It's just a wonderful thing to see happen right before E3 when everybody's going to be announcing all these new games, then go, and there's actually a way for me to play this game that I'm so excited about. It's just great. And on that happy note, I want to bring this Robservation to a close. If you guys have any comments, questions, thoughts, ideas, queries, things you want to talk about with any of the topics that I brought up on this Robservation today, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Also, if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, like, subscribe, and be sure to ring-a-ding-ding that bell so that you'll get notifications as to when new videos are coming out. Also, follow me all over the web on other stuff that I'm doing here on YouTube and on Twitch TV. That's twitter.com/GCDarksideRob. Also, our new Facebook page, facebook.com/OriginalDarksideRob. You can also follow me on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/GCDarksideRob. And last but not least, we have a new podcast that is going to be recording episode 3, the Game Apocalypse podcast. It's been myself and longtime member of the original podcast, the Game Crashers podcast, one Sean Marks. We're going to be having some returning guests on the new one. It should be a really good time, and I hope you guys will check it out. That's the Game Apocalypse podcast.simplecast.fm. You can also find that podcast now live on iTunes and Google Play. And episode 3 will be coming out this Tuesday evening for your listening enjoyment on the device of your choosing. That's going to do it for me, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Robservation. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Remember, we have new videos coming out on this here channel every Monday and Friday. Do all the things that I ask of you guys. And until next time, keep playing those video games. Stay safe, everybody. Be good to each other now more than ever. Be the positivity you want to see in the world. Rob hearts to all of you. And until next time, peace out.